With SUVs dominating the market and the ongoing electrification, it's no surprise that the next year is about to bring so many novelties, ICE and all-electric. Of course, all car makers promise cutting-edge technology, superior performance, and sleek designs, so it's not always easy to point out the best ones. This is our list of the 11 best new SUVs coming in 2024. Number 11, the GMC Acadia. The list starts with the GMC Acadia, a mid-size crossover that enters the third generation and brings some pretty significant changes. For most of us, the most obvious difference is the size. The wheelbase has been stretched significantly, so the total length now goes up to nearly 204 inches, which is 10 inches more compared to the previous generation. Moreover, the new Acadia is also 3.2 inches taller, which clearly indicates GMC's aspiration to offer a genuine family hauler with an adult-friendly third row and generous cargo space. Under the new suit, which looks quite similar to body-on-frame counterparts such as the Yukon, you will find an updated version of the C1 platform, and due to the significant size increase, the new Acadia now has way more in common with the Chevy Traverse. It even shares the powertrain, though slightly more powerful. We're talking about the new 2.5-liter Turbo 4 with 328 horsepower, compared to Traverse's 315 ponies. We expect the new generation to hit the market in the first quarter of 2024 with a starting price of around $39,000. Number 10, Cadillac Escalade IQ. Cadillac's most famous model is ready to get an all-electric iteration, but besides the name and impressive dimensions, it won't have many things in common with the gas and diesel-powered sibling. First of all, the front end will mimic another all-electric Caddy, the Lyric, while things under the skin will be pretty similar to what you can find in the GMC Hummer EV, Chevy Silverado EV, etc. This primarily means that you may count on the advanced Ultimate battery technology, with impressive charging rates and an impressive estimated max range, which could go up to 450 miles. As for the electric motors, there will be a couple of them, providing a total output of 650 horsepower in normal mode and 750 horsepower in the so-called Velocity Max mode, enough to hit 60 in about 4.5 seconds. Just like the ICE version, this model will also feature a cabin that's all about luxury, with high-end materials and a dashboard that's highlighted by a full-width screen, along with an additional screen beneath reserved for climate controls. And while the gas-powered Escalade starts at around $83,000, this one is estimated to come with a starting price of around $99,000. Number 9, Lexus GX. This off-road capable luxury SUV is finally getting a much-needed redesign, and with the outgoing generation being around for more than 13 years, it's logical that the changes and improvements are significant. First of all, it's good to know that the new GX doesn't change the course. It continues as a genuine body-on-frame SUV, and that's what purists appreciate most. Of course, there is a completely new styling, way more appealing than before, along with a way more upscale interior, full of the latest tech features. But more importantly, the new model rides on the new platform, the same one that underpins the Tundra, Tacoma, and the new Land Cruiser. Therefore, it doesn't surprise that the old V8 gets replaced by something way more capable and efficient. For now, we know for sure that the new 3.4-liter twin-turbo is coming with a max output of 349 horsepower, but various sources also speculate about the hybrid version, equipped with a super capable 437 horsepower system from Tundra. The starting price is expected to go around $60,000. Number 8, Jeep Wagoner S. After the recent big comeback, the Wagoner is now about to get an all-electric version, and from what we can see, it won't have many things in common with the Ram 1500-based body-on-frame gas-powered SUV. Instead, this will rather be a crossover with a size that's actually a little bit smaller than the Grand Cherokees. But does that mean that the Jeep Wagoner S will be less impressive than the gas-powered counterpart? No, it doesn't, because the all-electric iteration will feature some pretty impressive numbers. The officials promise 400 miles of range, along with respectable charging rates. Moreover, they also promise a dual-motor setup with a max output of 600 horsepower and 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Despite being smaller, the Jeep Wagoner S will be more expensive than the gas-powered Wagoner, with the starting price going around $75,000. The launch is planned for the next year, though we are still waiting for a more precise date. Number 7, Subaru Forester. In a world overflowed by uninspiring compact crossovers, the Forester has always been something different. It has always been a crossover that doesn't just look like an SUV. It's been a crossover that's actually off-road capable, practical, and utilitarian. and the next generation, which is coming next year, is likely to continue in the same way. The Forester is one of the two most important models in the Subaru lineup, with steady sales numbers and an excellent reputation. That's why Subaru engineers didn't want to change much. According to reports, most of the mechanics remained the same, including the powertrain. The focus was on the aesthetics, and the new generation indeed looks notably different. From the inside, a rather conservative dashboard is highlighted by a new 11.6-inch infotainment screen. While we have no doubt that the genuine Subaru fans will love the fact that the instrument cluster still remains analog. Also, there is a big chance to finally see the XT trim back. Equipped with a 260 horsepower Turbo 4, the off-road oriented wilderness trim should also use that 2.4-liter Turbo Flat 4 engine. As for the price, we expect base models to cost around $28,500. Number 6. Porsche Macan EV. If there's an SUV that feels like a sports car, that's the Macan. And now Porsche wants to apply the same formula in the EV world by offering an all-electric version of this engaging compact crossover. The overall design approach is about to remain the same, but the EV is going to weigh much more due to the battery. Will this affect the overall athleticism? It's hard to say at the moment, but we can see that Porsche plans to compensate for this additional weight with additional power. The officials are still quiet, but it looks like the base versions are about to feature a dual-motor setup with 350 horsepower. High-performance models, which could come with the Macan Turbo moniker, are expected to feature a total output of 600 horsepower. No matter the output, all Macans should feature a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack with a max range of up to 312 miles and a charging rate of 270 kilowatt. The all-electric Macan will hit the North American market next year with a starting price of around $80,000. Number 5. Corvette SUV. Many don't like, but that's the reality of the modern-day car market. SUVs bring money. That's why we are not surprised with Chevy's plan to offer a Corvette in an SUV body. Even Ferrari started making SUVs, so we don't see why GM wouldn't make some extra profit on the iconic nameplate. According to GM officials, the goal is to offer an SUV that competes with Porsche in terms of performance. Macan or Cayenne, it's still unclear, but more will be known once we find out more about the size. Some sources suggest midsize and others talk about the compact dimensions. The measurements will also affect what's under the hood. In the case of compact dimensions, the offer could start already with a Turbo 4, while a midsize Corvette would rather rely on a twin-turbo V6. But no matter the size, one thing is clear, high-end versions will have to feature 8 cylinders, and of course, we're talking about the supercharged 6.2-liter V8 with nearly 700 horsepower. The officials are still quiet about the price, but sources like Car and Driver suggest that the base versions could go already at around $60,000. Number 4. Hyundai Ionic 7. Hyundai is arguably one of the leading automotive companies in the EV universe. The Korean manufacturer already introduced a solid number of electric cars, but what's more important is the technological leap this company made. And now it's going to use it to offer a spacious and practical, yet reasonably priced SUV, which is something that the EV market is currently missing. From what we know so far, it looks like there is a big chance that most of the compact's design solutions are about to carry into serial production, but that only refers to the exterior design. On the inside, the Ioniq 7 will feature a way more production-friendly layout with more conventional seating configuration and less extravagant dashboard design. We presume that the company wants to use the full potential of Ioniq 7's respectable dimensions and offer a genuine family hauler. But besides practicality, this SUV will also offer respectable battery performance. We still don't know much about electric motors, but we expect to see a max range of around 300 miles and 350 kilowatt charging rate that ensures 80% of the battery is recharged in just 20 minutes. At the same time, Hyundai's 3-row SUV will come with a reasonable sticker price, probably around $50,000. Number 3. Ferrari Puro Sangue. Some would say it's blasphemy, but the reality is that even Ferrari needs an SUV these days to remain relevant. But what sets the famous Italian car maker apart from rival companies is that the things are done the most perfect way. This SUV is smaller, lighter, and more engaging than any other SUV on the market. But the most important thing about it is under the hood. Unlike the competitors, which rely on turbochargers, electric motors, and similar things, all Puro Sangue cares about is the ultimate driving experience. A naturally aspirated rated engine is the only way, not with 8 or 10, but 12 cylinders. Yes, it features a screaming 6.5-liter V12 that puts out 715 horsepower and can hit 60 in a little bit over 3 seconds. Besides a spectacular engine and super engaging handling, the Purosangue also offers an impressive level of luxury with the attention to detail you would expect from a vehicle that costs over $400,000. And once again, there is nothing to distract the driver. There is no center infotainment screen, just an instrument cluster and one screen for the passenger. But despite all of its magnificence, the Purosangue earns only 3rd place on our list. So make sure to stay until the end of this video to find out what are the 2 best SUVs coming in 2024. Number 2, Volvo EX30. The 2nd place belongs to the upcoming Volvo EX30, which is something completely opposite to the Purosangue. This is an SUV of the future, compact, capable, efficient, and easy to drive. Most importantly, this is truly a sustainable car, and by that, we don't think only about the battery. We think of the fact that this SUV is made mostly from recycled materials and that it has a minimal carbon footprint. At the same time, this is the cheapest Volvo SUV you'll be able to buy next year. And at the same time, this will be the quickest Volvo in the lineup, with a couple of electric motors that provides 422 horsepower and ensures 0 to 60 sprint in just 3.4 seconds. Base models, on the other hand, will feature a single 268 horsepower electric motor and be able to hit 60 in about 5 seconds. As mentioned, one of the strongest selling points will be the price, which is expected to start at around $36,000. Number 1, Toyota RAV4. We can talk about performance, sustainability, and advanced technologies all day long, but all that doesn't matter. In the end, it's all about sales numbers, and that's where no one comes close to one and only Toyota RAV4. With the current generation being in production for nearly 6 years already, it doesn't surprise that the Japanese manufacturer is preparing a new generation for the next year. At this point, the officials are still keeping most details a secret, but if we consider the popularity of the current model, it's quite obvious that this redesign can bring only evolutionary changes. Because why make radical changes to something that sells in millions? The answer is simple. Toyota will focus only on the things that are considered weak points at the moment. That primarily refers to the interior design, which lacks the elegance and luxury of younger rivals. Moreover, would also expect to see some improvements in terms of sound insulation. Finally, let's not forget about the Safety Sense 3.0, the latest iteration of Toyota's suite of advanced safety systems. Also worth mentioning are reports that suggest that the gas-only version is going to be dropped from the offer. Instead, the new model will rely on hybrid powertrains, starting from the well-known and proven system based on a 2.5-liter inline-4. The plug-in hybrid could get a new battery and better EV range, while a high-performance version with conventional automatic is also in talks. And with the gas-only versions dropped from the offer, we may also expect a higher starting price, probably around $32,000. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.